What's going on, guys? Scotty Sparks back again. It's been a while. Uh, let me just check this OBS because it's been a bitch. Mic audio is working. Trying to get the display capture to work. Took about like 45 minutes. Um, so it's working now. I figured out a way to get around it. But I am taking over for a team. Um, I don't remember the old team. It was like NYS. It stood for New York Scrafty. I don't know. The guy randomly quit. So this is season 3. No, I don't know what season. Season 9. Week 3 is what I meant. Here's the team. This is the team. Finished team. Um, what it was before was it had Zardex, had Jirachi, had Keldeo, had Sylveon, had Crook, had Jolteon. So I added Chestnut and Below. It also had Alolan Ninetales. If I go here, I'll see how many points those were. Where is it? Team drafts. I went to the bottom here. Zardex, Sylveon, Keldeo, Crook, Jolteon. Here are the remainder ones. I remember Alolan Ninetales was on the team. Meloetta, Bonsly for some reason. Um, what else was on the team that I was debating getting rid of? Draft pool. Let's see it's available. Um, do 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 do. Overall, I mean, oh man, Arcanine's there. That'd been cool to have if I didn't have Megazard. I was debating Staraptor too to put on the team. So yeah, Silvally. I think that was the other big thing. Um, but overall, with that, if go back to here, the issue I had with that was if that was the case, I only had 2 rockers in Rachi, Crook, both which I wouldn't want to commit to rocks, which is why Rhydon was there. Um, there was no other hazards, like no Chestnut. I don't think Toxicroak gets T-Spikes, but if it does, why not? No, it doesn't get T-Spikes, but it's there for the memes. Um, so, let's see. For those that are watching that aren't from the league I'm running, um, the guy Moose plays is the thing. He's whatever. Brandon. We're good friends from like way back in high school. We had our league. He went off into doing cool stuff with other leagues, and I got the invite. So it works out. Now I'm in this. I guess more. I wouldn't say more. More. What is it? What's the right word? More committed. I would say. More experienced. I feel like our league. Whatever. I'm not going to talk about that. But so I'll talk about the Mons themselves. Ironically enough, we were about to start our PDL season 6, season 5, season 6, I think. And I was debating Zardex. I was actually debating Zardex, Finny, Pharaoh. But I forgot that what Brennan reminded me of, that Misty Train weakens Dragon moves. Wouldn't have been a good combo. I've been laddering with it pretty fine, but not in like 1500s. It's not too high. But overall, now Rachi, Zardex were 2 things I was thinking of, so I'm going to have to rethink my draft because I don't really want to have 2 Zardex or 2 Rachi teams. Keldeo, I've had experience with Keldeo. Sylveon, Chestnut, Jolteon, Rhydon. So half the team I'm experienced with, half the team. It's going to be it can be interesting. I'd say I'm more experienced with Zardex now after laddering it with a bit for a bit. But let's get into the team. We are 0-2 because that's how he decided to leave us. Minus 11. He pretty much said, I'll soften it up, but he pretty much said, Mons are dumb, peace, and then left. So we are. I'm not gonna do the team builder here. Oh, cool. But I'll just kind of talk about my Mons. I wanted to keep Zardex Rachi, obviously, because if you look at the pool, this is what I was left with. I was left with a lot of mega options if I went to choose that route, but overall it would have been Rachi, Necrozma, Mence, Titar, are the high points Mons. There's Zerk too, I guess, but overall, like I wouldn't have been left much in the form of high. So I could have went like Necrozma, Salamence, and then something. Um, so it would have like I'm not gonna say it would have been impossible, but there was definitely a way that I could have. It would have been a lot easier just to keep what I had at the moment. So building with that, I like the Keldeo. Um, Zardex and Rachi are like Dragon Steel. And they had Sylveon as a fairy, and I was thinking Whimsicott, but overall, I think I didn't think Alolan Ninetales was the right fit. Sylveon has some bulk to it, which is nice, and I think it just fit the team better. It gave me some wish support, and now the wish support's pretty good in my team. I guess Jolteon has wish too, but I wouldn't really consider that a wish passer. Rachi, Sylveon. I swear, I think Sylveon gets Heal Bell. Um, so it's kind of a little scrambled draft analysis just because I didn't really draft the team, and trust me, it was a lot harder to rebuild a team that was already drafted than it was to um, draft your own team. Because you could kind of like do step by step, like, oh, round one, I wanted this, it was a big threat. Round two, this went really well with it, and then try to like bounce off from there. Um, I did like Crook. Like, Rachi, I feel like is going to struggle with those bulky psychics. Same with Keldeo. Keldeo, I mean, if it's not especially defensive, Keldeo can kind of break through with its water stab, but Chestnut uh, and Rachi, and like Zarda X isn't really great against bulky psychics, so having Crook there is pretty good. And since Zardex is weak to electric, Keldeo is weak to electric, and then I guess Braviary and Starmie. I don't really count Abomasnow and Toxicroak. Those are just the two mons I had points left with. Um, so, like, the fact that I have a couple in a couple electric immunities is pretty nice. I do find that there are some weak spots to this. Um, I don't match up the best against fairies, but Zardex, I guess, is neutral to it. As my only real fairy weakness, I guess Chestnut Keldeo. Um, but I do have Rachi that can switch in, so it's gonna be kind of nice because fairies aren't gonna want to counter Keldeo; they're gonna want to check it offensively. And if they're bulky, the odds of them being able to break Rachi are not the best, or I might even be able to set up with Zardex on them. Um, so the idea, the fairy isn't going to be too big of an issue just because the bulky ones I can break, and the with my team, and the offensive ones I can aren't going to want to switch in. So Keldeo is gonna be one of the mons that don't want to switch in, don't want psychic switching into it, but it can still break. Um, but yeah, I'm just kind of it's kind of rambling right now just because I just got the team yesterday. I stayed up late with Brandon trying to hash out the details. Um, I don't really know. I have my team set for this week. I might do team builder soon, but overall, I do like Zardex, Rachi, Keldios, Sylveon, Chestnut. I added to the team because, like I said, I was lacking hazards, and I didn't really have a grass. He didn't really have a grass type. I I think his grass option was Silvally, which kind of sketched me out. Um, so having like a bulky grass type that can switch in like on the non-Z Land OTs, which aren't really there, or like mainly like the Zygardes, the Garchomps, the stuff like that. I guess non-aerial ace Excadrill, stuff like that. Like there's some options I can switch into. Um, Crook I liked. I've always wanted to try it. It seems like a decent Pokemon. I've tried Sandile in a little cup league, and it just Moxie scarfed its way to victory. So hopefully I can pull some of that with Crook, but I feel like on this team I have to be a little more defensive. If it's not gonna, I feel like it's either gonna be speed control or defensive checking. Um, Braviary, I like the Defiant. I liked it was between that and Staraptor, but the points kind of led to Braviary. Um, and I like the idea of the U-turn, like the momentum. I found with practicing with Zardex, he loves momentum. or it could be she too, but whatever. This one's red. This one's nicknamed Red. It's he. Um, it loves momentum. Same with Keldeo. Um, so having Jirachi, having Jolteon, having Braviary, all with momentum. Toxicroak too. U-turn. Um, it's just nice. Pretty. It's just I guess nice. Does it show my momentum over here? No. So, um, and a flying stab was something that would be really nice because fighting types. I guess I have Rachi, but being steel type, it's not going to want to switch. I mean, Jirachi, I guess, is more known in my eyes for the steel stab other than the psychic stab. And if I'm going to go more defensive some weeks, I feel like Iron Head over psychic moves, but I guess it depends on the matchup. So having something that can break those grass, those flyings, and can get me momentum. And I mean, don't sleep on the fact that Defiant Sheer Force. If I Scarf switch into a Defog, then teams are gonna have an issue. I don't know if it gets speed boost. Let me check that. Because if it has any sort of like power, just to make sure there's no. Doesn't get flame charge now. It has Tailwind. I could bulk up Tailwind, I guess. Switch into a Defiant boost, and then just Tailwind. And then I get like 3 turns of. I wish Tailwind had more time, but you get like 3 turns. Jolteon, because a lot of ground types like to switch into Zardex as like, and rocks I guess, but a lot of grounds. Just because I don't really have super effective coverage for that. So the ability to HP Ice and get some chipped in, like the grounds are going to want to switch into Jolteon too. So I'll use this team as an example. The one I'm facing next week. If you look at his team, like he's got some stuff that can switch into Zardex, but obviously he's got his ground type and his rock type. Those are the two that I don't really hit super effective. Whereas the Arrow can check Jolteon offensively. But Mudsdale can also switch into Jolteon. He has some other options for Jolteon. But other teams are going to have that issue where if they use their grass type to check Jolteon and I Volt Switch into Zardex, that's an issue. If they use their ground type to switch into Jolteon and I say Work Up or Sub, I can get some free HP Ice damage and potentially kill their ground type, their answer to Zardex. And if they want to go Water as the route to checking Zardex, there's Jolteon again. So it just having that fast electric paired with the with Zardex is something I wanted to keep on the team, which would be really nice. And another thing about his team that I picked up that I didn't like was the fact that Keldeo was his only water. He did have Silvally, who could be a water type, but in my experience with using Silvally, if you lack too many types, so in his case grass and water, you lack too many types, you pigeonholed Silvally into always being those types, and it lacks that predictability, the unpredictability, that teams would want, that you'd want teams to have in team prep. If you know he's like, oh, well, he doesn't really have a bulky water, or he doesn't have a bulky grass, so it's going to be one of those two, then it just kind of cuts the prep you can use. So having Starmie, it also has the 115 that kind of fills my speed gap. I don't think he really had a nice speed gap either, because he obviously had Jolteon at 130, and I think his last one was like 109. I don't think he had a 110. It was like a low Ninetales. He did have Meloetta, which I don't know the speed tier of Meloetta, but when I first saw his team, I was like, yeah, Meloetta and Bonsly are the two mons that are instantly getting removed. But yeah, and then I'll go to the bottom ones. I had leftover points, and he had Rachi Keldeo as his Z users, but in my mind, Rachi doesn't want to be stuck with a Z move. I feel like it does appreciate Z moves for sure, but it also appreciates leftovers, scarves, even stuff like Life Orb or damage boosting stuff, or even berries. And that's something. And Keldeo obviously loves Z using, like Z stones. So it was half good, half interesting in my eyes. And I guess Crook, who lacks the damage, in my mind needed it a little more. Because if I'm gonna try to like Moxie Sweep, having that one thing, that one like move that can just break that bulky thing, and then I can sweep from there is gonna be crucial. It's the same reason why like I like Lucario Scarfed, or I mean Zed, because I know I was looking at Brandon's team too, and he has Z Lucario, which I used in a previous season of our PDL league. Um, so being like he's not strong enough to 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 sweep without Z's and Z users, Z mons or whatever. You know what I'm trying to say? Like he's not the strongest mon offensively, so being able to break something with that Z is in my mind was worth more than Rachi, and it gave me 3 points left over. So I think Abomasnow was the 3 point mon, and Abomasnow, it's not terrible. It gives me priority in Ice Shard, which Ice Shard is a very good priority move with Abomasnow, who, if you look at Abomasnow, yes, it has a lot of, being a grass ice has a lot of weaknesses, but if I sash it, if I bury it on something like a steel berry, so like a berry that I know it's gonna be the move that's hitting me. These 92 attacks with this high move pool. Let's see, what does he got? He's got Focus Punch if I wanted to go that fighting route. Focus Blast, Special, Grass Knot, Outrage. He has Outrage, but I mean Ice moves probably over that. Wood Hammer. So he's got Wood Hammer and Blizzard. I think he has Energy Ball, and Physical for Ice. I think he's like Ice Punch. He gets Ice Punch, right? Yeah. So like, and plus like he's got Shadow Ball, Rock Slide, Earthquake, Iron Tail. Like he's got Natural Gift if I want to be cheeky with that. But that's physical. And like I said, obviously the Icy Wind, some tech there. Ice Shard would be the main one. He's got Leech Seed too if I wanted to go that route, and he gets Sword Stance and Nasty Plot, I believe. Was I right? Was I wrong with that? No, that's Toxicroak, I think. But he has Sword Stance, which could boost Ice Shard. So the speed wouldn't 100% be an issue. So it was a very good 3 point mon to Z, and it just gave me some more offensive power, just because Chestnut can be very powerful offensively, but it allows me to not have to rely on Chestnut having a grass move. Like if I want to break something with grass, I can use Abomasnow over Chestnut. But mainly like the priority there and the Z part was the main issues that it filled. And then I had 7 points, and if you looked at the 7 point slot at the end of this, Toxicroak was arguably the best one. I could have gone Venomoth, but I couldn't baton pass the Quiver Dance. Wheezing was an option with T-Spikes that I was thinking of, but I mean, I like Wheezing, but I just feel like it's too passive. Scrafty, but I already had Keldeo as a fighting type and Crook as a dark type. Pissimian, but again, Keldeo. Noivern could be an option, I guess, but I wouldn't be able to Z it, and I probably would have wanted to Z it. The only other option I was really looking at was the Miss Magius. But looking at my team, or I guess Medicham. But looking at my team, I didn't need the fighting. I didn't need the psychic, and if I had that, Starmie, Jirachi, and Miss Magius all became pursuit fodder. And I had some good knockoff users, like that wasn't an issue, but I didn't want people to run pursuit on me and just capitalize on that. The fact that I have 3 psychics. And I didn't want to force Keldeo in every game as a Z user to switch, or Zardex to switch into to knockoffs. So the less dark weaknesses I had, I guess the better. I mean, Sylveon, I guess, resists dark, so it's not an issue. But overall, here's the team. Let me show the sprites. Here's the team I'm facing next week. He has a cool team. Mega Arrow was something I was also thinking of in my other league. So having to go up against it, not the greatest. He'll just miss all the stone edges and I'll be fine. So we got Zaradex, Rachi, Keldeo, Sylveon, Chestnut, Crook, Jolteon, Rhydon, Starmie, Breviary, Abomasnow, and Toxicroak. And yeah, I fucked up here. I don't know why this one got chopped off. That's because I messed this part up. But nah, whatever. So yeah, let's hope we turn this into a dub, because we're already down 0-2 and there's only 10 games in the season. So In my mind, I think if we want to make playoffs, which is top three cut, I think we need 6 out of the 8 wins. If we go 6-4, we'll have a shot. We might have to go 7-1. Well, I'm just gonna take it one game at a time. We'll win this game, and then see what happens next week. If we lose, the more we lose, the more I can kind of meme my team, depending on the playoff ranks. Because I'm not gonna, if I'm up against someone who needs to win for a playoff spot, I'm gonna beat him, because I'm not gonna let people get in the playoffs that easily. But yeah, overall. Oh, and another thing with Toxicroak has like vacuum wave bullet punch, so it's some more priority. So even though they're like not the greatest defensively mons, like they have priority that can be very useful. But yeah, that's it with my team here. Overall, I'm liking the squad. I am. Haven't tested it too much, but I feel like I'll find the holes that I'll find some holes eventually, and I'll have, I think, weeks. I won't make any drops for week 3, but for week 6, I'll definitely consider making drops if needed. But yeah, see you guys. This video is probably long enough.